everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Actually, I'll get closer. Hopefully you can hear me better. There we go. Alright. Today is still the 15th of February. Excuse me, it is Tuesday, 2022. Got a nice fire going here. It actually feels really, really good, to be honest with you. It's supposed to be, now how weird is this? So today, we had a high of like 24, and well, that's in town. Let's be clear about that. It's in town. It's not 20. Whenever it was 24 up here, but the forecast for tomorrow is now saying, I think, almost 50 degrees. Next 2 days are supposed to be like high 40s, low 50s. And now, of course, because of that and all the snow, then they're going to have a flood watch because everything will melt really quickly. Hopefully, it melts really quickly. So. All right. Hello, Max. What? Hi. You want to come over? All right, come on. Oh. All right, we gotta do it the other way. We gotta do it the other way. There we go. That's better. That's better. All right, so. This is going to be a rant video, just so you know. And you guys have seen me do videos venting about nursing staffage ratios, and that in the past, okay? And I've worked in some places that the staffing ratio is absolutely ridiculous. There's one place in particular that I have in mind that I worked there. I mean, I literally worked there for like 3 weeks, and I quit. I was like, nope, not doing it, not happening. That was not going to be the situation. So anyway, stop fighting so much, okay? Stop fighting. All right. So when Cuomo was still governor of New York, and this is going to prove to you guys, I mean, not that anybody that watches this video that is in the medical field, this is going to be no surprise to you guys. No surprise whatsoever. But the average citizen out there that has no idea, this is going to give you an indication how little administrators care. Okay? So they don't put no, they're, you know, so we're going to get into this here. So when Cuomo was still governor, he put legislation in for staffing minimums for ICUs. Now, I don't know if you know how many of you have worked in an ICU. Generally, that's an RN position. I've never worked in an ICU, but or have I? I remember I worked in a couple of units where, but anyway. May have not, I don't remember. But anyway, you have the ratio should be. So anyway, let me go back here. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. So Cuomo enacted legislation that was supposed to take effect January 1st of this year. That the staffing minimum would be 2 patients per ICU nurse. Right now, it averages 3, sometimes 4. So one ICU nurse is taking care of 3 to 4 patients. Now, that's dangerous. It is unsafe. It is, for the patient, it's very dangerous. For the nurse, it's very dangerous. You're talking about an extremely, extremely high-stress job, above and beyond. Okay, when it comes to nursing, very, very, you know, demanding job. That you, especially if you have somebody with a head injury, and you're doing hourly neuro checks. What does that mean? Which means you're checking the pupils every hour to make sure that there's not any issues with that person. All right. So there's a lot to it. I mean, it's a very entailed job. It's not like just being on a regular unit. You're talking about people that are very medically fragile. that need a lot of attention. They just do. It's just the way it is. Okay. Uh, when you have that kind of staffing, it is very, very dangerous. Again, to the patient, it's unsafe for the nurse. Okay, I guess now he's done. And so it is a bad situation. So that law was supposed to go into effect as of the 1st of January. Now here we are, guys, 6 weeks later. It's the 15th of February. It's not been enacted yet because administrators haven't written it in. They're fighting it. They're trying to delay it as much as they can. Now, why would these administrators who claim to care so much about patients and patient safety and all that type of thing, why would they do that? Bottom line, it always comes down to money. If they can get one nurse to take care of 3 or 4 patients, then you don't have to, the administration is saving money. What it always comes down to. If you think that those pieces of crap give a crap, and I'm not going to say in all cases, let me just reiterate what I'm saying. Not in all cases, but the mass majority of cases, that's exactly what it comes down to. All right? It is sad, very, very sad. The burnout rate of ICU nurses is unbelievable. And a lot of them get out of doing it. They stop doing it. They love it, but they know that it's unsafe. I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to understand this for those of you that are not in the nursing field, okay? That one place that I worked, and I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but I will tell you where it was. And any of you other nurses out there that are from New York that have worked at the same facility, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a facility that I worked in Bath, New York. Okay, it used to be a state-run facility. It was sold to a private company out of New York City. All right, they changed the staffing minimums where it was like ridiculously very, very hard on staff. Patients were not getting the proper care that they deserved or should be getting, especially with paying as much as they were paying. It was bad. It was bad, and they were going through CNAs and nurses, unbelievable high the turnover rate was. Now here's the things what a lot of you don't understand. If I accept a floor, all right, and I'm normally taking care of 24 patients as an evening nurse on a unit. There should be 2 nurses on a unit. You have 48 patients on that unit, so you have 2 nurses. On an evening shift, you should have 5 CNAs. You should have. They never had 5 CNAs because what you're doing is you're getting everybody in. You're feeding them dinner. And then everybody wants to go to bed. Well, they all want to go to bed at the same time, but that's another thing. So anyway, as a nurse, if I go in there and the other nurse doesn't show up, in this particular facility, they expected you, one person, to take care of 48 people. All right, so that's meds, treatments, any kind of emergency that should pop up or happen. I mean, it's a nightmare waiting to happen. If you accept that floor for 48 people and something goes wrong and something happens on your shift, do you think that facility is going to have your back? Absolutely not. They're going to throw you under the bus, in a heartbeat. It's unsafe. There's no way. And so I would refuse. I would never take a full floor by myself. Wouldn't do it. And that's why I stayed there only 3 weeks, because, it was ridiculous that they would expect you to do that, and I wasn't going to do it. So I would take half the floor, and it was just. I even had the nurse manager. You're gonna love this one. I had told them. I said I did my count and I accepted the one side, and then they were like, oh well, the other nurse isn't coming. You need to count for the other side. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking a whole unit. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, what part of that I'm not doing it, don't you understand? So the nurse manager comes up to me. I quit shortly thereafter. She comes up to me and she says, you will do the count and you will take the whole floor. I said, no, I won't. Well, then I want your 2 weeks notice. And I looked right at this nurse manager and I said, very condescendingly, I said, honey, I'll tell you what. Me and you go in there right now, I'll count right now, and I'm out of here right now. What do you think about that? Oh, man, her tune changed in a heartbeat then. You have to self-advocate for yourself as staff. You got to say, this isn't right, this is not acceptable, this is unsafe. What they're doing, these management administrators, let me just say, and I'm not even talking management. Management on a unit, you have the nurse manager. Very rarely do you see a nurse manager that will get out on the floor and actually help the staff. I've seen it on a couple occasions. Okay, seen it on a couple occasions. Very rare, very, very rare that you have a nurse manager that will do that. And I'm going to tell you what. The nurse managers that do that for their staff, they are highly respected. I will tell you that too. They're very, very highly respected. Now, administrators, no way. Not going to see them ever. They could care less. They're about crunching numbers, and that's it. So if you're working your fingers to the bone and you're stressed out and you're putting your license at risk, you're putting people's lives at risk, with that ratio of 3 and 4 patients for an ICU nurse. That's why Cuomo put that law into place, because the different nursing unions had said, this is ridiculous. Now here's a question that I have for anybody from New York State that's watching this video. If you are an ICU nurse, and or if you worked in an ICU unit, and are no longer working in that unit, tell me I'm wrong on this with what is going on. All right? This is unbelievably wrong. Now, I will tell you this. If there was a policy going to be implemented the 1st of January that would benefit the administration of these different hospitals, these folks, that would be implemented in a heartbeat. But because it's going to cost them money, and at the end of the day, they don't care about human lives. They care about money. That's it. And that's sad. That's sad. You should have good staffing ratios. You should have people, I want you to understand something. People get into nursing. People get into nursing because they love it. It is a very thankless job. Very thankless job. It's a calling that everybody can't do. I've loved being a nurse. Absolutely loved being a nurse. And, helping and taking care of people. Never could stand management. Oh, never. Just because they don't care. They could care less. That's my experience. And I did a lot of agency work back in the day. I've worked in several different facilities. And from the experience that I had, that I've seen, administrators, especially administrators, not even management, but administrators, they're the worst. They're the worst, so. But anyway, I want to hear your feedback. What do you think about the fact that this law was supposed to be implemented as January 1st, where the staffing ratios are supposed to be 2 to 1, never any higher than that? But it's still not implemented yet, 6 weeks later into the year, because they haven't written it in. These different facilities haven't written it in, so they can still force these ICU nurses to take 3 and 4 patients. Very, very, very unsafe. Very unsafe. And there's going to be the whole blowback of, there's not enough staff and blah, blah, blah. They've done it to themselves. By trying to force people to do this, they've done it to themselves. And when you're firing staff because they won't comply, that's something that you've brought upon yourself. So, you know what? Take care of people. That's our job. That's what we're supposed to do. And because you prey on, and I'm talking administrators, when you prey on the kindness of staff that want to take care of their people, and they can't do it in a proper way because you're making it unsafe, that's a shame. And so I want the average person that has no idea about nursing and what it's like and what we have to deal with in nursing. A very highly stressful job. A lot of pressures put on you, especially when you're taking on more patients than you should be. It's when it's not safe. All right. So anyway, definitely want to hear your feedback on this. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Um, so that's all I got. All right. So that's my rant. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this, and maybe we should be calling these local hospitals and asking why they're not implementing a law that went into place January 1st. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it now? Anyway, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope your week is going good so far. I will see you all tomorrow. I will be live streaming tomorrow night at 8 p.m., so join me then. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from reaching your goal is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you guys are going to be just fine. Alright? I will see you all later. I hope everybody's having, like I said, a really good day, and be safe. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.